Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. This YouTube astrological segment. We'll be talking about transit Chiron conjunct one's natal Saturn. Now, when you're talking about transits that Chiron, it can be about physical and emotional wounds, helping, healing, suffering. They can reflect ways that we can help others that we're unable to help ourselves. And now, when you have transit Chiron conjoining one's natal Saturn, well, this could manifest in physical and emotional wounds and pain and suffering, but also helping and healing in matters with the career. It could be a time where you might be dealing with some suffering in your own career, whether maybe you might have gotten terminated or let go due to workforce reduction or what have you, or maybe it was a pay cut. It could be something or demotion, but at the same time, you may actually be able to help others in those matters in terms of perhaps stature in life and social status. Now, Saturn is also connected with the father, so it might be a situation where your father may be debilitated or sickly, or you might be doing things to take care of the father. Let's say this falls in the zodiac sign Cancer. It might be done with a lot of care and a lot of concern, a lot of protective energy, and nurturing. You might be like being like that home caregiver for your father in some cases. Now, Saturn is also about our restrictions and rules, restrictions, and limitations. Now, this could be where you may be going through some emotional suffering. It could be due to some kind of something that might be very limiting or restricting. And this is, say, if this falls in Taurus in the 12th house as an example, it could be a monetary, financial restriction, which might be tied into some secret. It might be tied into secret sorrows, being in the 12th house. It might be maybe some issues with self-worth or self-esteem that might also be connected with secret sorrows. Now, Saturn could also be connected with fears as well. So it might be a time where you might be having a lot of difficulty trying to contend and deal with fears, but you may also be able to encourage others to work through theirs at this time as well. And going back to the Saturn in the 12th house example, now Saturn in the 12th house by itself can indicate where the unknown may put one in a state of fright and trepidation. And if you're having this transit, say, and it's in this 12th house, it might be where you're having maybe more difficulty with what I just stated, but you may also be able to help others come out of their shell and go and really not be so afraid of what's unknown. Take that next step. Try to go into uncharted territory if need be in order to enhance or improve your life or what have you. Now, Saturn is also connected with sorrow, depression, and despondency. This could be a time where you might be experiencing more difficulty with this, and it might be greater repercussions because of the saying that, for example, if you're feeling so depressed or despondent, it might be affecting you in terms of maybe not going to work or not taking action on something, and really maybe inhibiting you in some way, shape, or form. But it could also be a time we might be able to help others dealing with some kind of sorrow. It could be in some cases, like say if it's in the 5th house, it could be a situation with a child, whether a child may have passed away or is in some sickly or debilitated state. Saturn is also associated with laborious work and efforts. So it might be sometimes this may manifest in where something could be very taxing in terms of working hard, or there might be some injury as a result of hard effort. There could be something, Gemini, it could be something with the arms or the hands in some cases. It might be, something, if you're somebody that works out heavy, say if you're doing some kind of bench press, there might be something connected with the chest or breast area. That might be problematic as a result, might overextended something or what have you in that area. It could also be a time to, when you look at Saturn, it's also connected with time. Time may be like an enemy to you at this time. It might be something where you might feel you might be suffering due to maybe not having enough time to do things, or it might simply be that time maybe has caught up with you, and maybe you just maybe you took too long, or you had taken your time on something and procrastinated and paying repercussions as a result. Now, Saturn could also be connected with chronic debilitations, and it may be a time too where you feel, at this time, you might feel inept in terms of dealing with that. If you do have any, there might be there might be surgery in connection with the chronic debilitation. Say if it's in Scorpio, it could be something with the colon, or something like prostate or bladder. There might be surgical procedure on that. Also, too, anatomically speaking, Saturn is connected with the knees, the bones, the joints, hamstrings, skin. It can be a time where you might be dealing with maybe more pain in those areas. It might be excruciating pain in some cases. And also, Saturn is connected with the skin. It can be some issue associated with that at this time. Say if it's in Aries, it could be some irritation or some rash with the skin, for example. And also, too, Saturn is connected with delays. So it might be a time where you might be feeling greater consequences or ramifications due to some kind of delay in your life at this time. It might be, it's in the 10th house. It could be some matter with a career, or having to be somewhere to meet up with the dominant parent, which is often the father, and trying to do something for that person. And maybe you're feeling, you're having more sorrow, greater repercussions as a result of being delayed in matters with that person. It can be some issue in some cases. You look at this, well, not some cases. Saturn is connected with authority figures and older people. So it might be a time when you might be might be some issues where there is suffering in matters connected with these people. It might be, it could be a contentious situation. It might be some kind of arguing. If it's in the 7th house, maybe it's a lawsuit. In some case, it could be a legal matter. It can be something to, Saturn is associated with our responsibilities. So, talking about Chiron can be about emotional wounds and suffering and ineptitude. It might be a time where we feel more inept in taking care of our responsibilities. We might feel weak in this area. If it's in Pisces, say, it might be due to lethargy or just relaxing too much. It could be apathy. There's some isolated cases. It could be drugs or alcohol, because Pisces is connected with that. Now, also, too, Chiron is connected with our deepest wound. So at this time, the deepest wound one may feel may very well be connected with a physical debilitation at this time. Say if it falls in Gemini as an example, it could be some issue with the hand or the hands, the arms, carpal tunnel syndrome as an example, because in that example, it wouldn't be about the physical issue by itself, but it could also prohibit you from doing many things, because so many things are done with the hands and in terms of work, even basic activities. I have Uranus similar. I got Uranus almost exactly conjunct my 6th house cusp in my natal chart, and I have very extensive nerve damage, and it has prohibited me from doing many things. Now, at the same time, this could also manifest in helping and healing others. That can be Saturn related. It can be, Saturn can be connected with difficulties in general. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, say if this falls in Scorpio in the second house as an example, it might be some issue, could be some difficulty somebody was dealing with compulsive, which is Scorpio, and hoarding possessions, which of course could be associated with the second house. Um, Sometimes this may manifest in physical issues, which I mean, Chiron can be associated with physical wounds, suffering. It might be due to excessive work. With Saturn is connected with laborious work and efforts, which might be causing more sorrow. And Saturn is connected with dejection and sorrow. Now, let's say if it falls in Leo, it could be some issues with the heart or the upper back or spine as a result of this. Um, it can be just general. This could also manifest in just general suffering that's associated with a chronic debilitation. Now, if this falls in Taurus as an example, it could be something with the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the vocal cords, something with the esophagus. Um, and also remember, Chiron is connected with diminished self-worth and self-esteem. So, and it might be due to one's career or stature in life. Let's say if this falls in Capricorn in the 12th house as an example, it could be where a person might be doing some kind of general, very mundane work, which is Capricorn, and it might be tied into one's secret sorrows at this time. And the thing about it is, again, going back to the fact Chiron can be associated with ineptitude, it might be where one may be feeling inept. It could be in doing something with business or gaining structure or discipline in one's life. It could be their stature in life. Maybe there's some matters with the father that haven't been worked out or reconciled, and the relationship might be strained, and it might be making the person feel very down on themselves at this time. And also dealing with fears could be another issue where a person might feel some ineptitude at this time. But at the same time, remember that Chiron being the wounded healer could also indicate that you may be able to benefit others that are dealing with those same issues, such as their business or career, gaining structure or discipline in their life. Say if it's in the zodiac sign Cancer or the fourth house, it could be their home, gaining structure and discipline in their home, and family life, and also dealing with one's fears. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.